All right, back once again sooner than expected, and this is a little bit of a weird one because I messed up. I didn't realize that this was the case, but if you start a run from the beginning using restart, even if you're restarting stage 1, it doesn't actually count in the game, like the achievements and the score and the replay stuff. So that's a little unfortunate, but I did finally have a successful run of 1.0 original. And wow, compared to all the previous runs I've done, this one is definitely cranks things up a notch. Ever since I started practicing it, I've moved my monitor closer to me recently to see if that helps a little bit with precise dodging. I'm still not sure if it's good or not. We'll have to see, but let's get into it. So like I said, I didn't start this from the main menu. I did restart because I had a previous run where I just died on the first stage, and I'm like, oh, I'll just restart. But I'm never doing that again. I might actually do another run of this because I really want that achievement and an actual replay. So we'll see how I feel. I'll probably end up doing another one of these, but let's take a look how it went. So I'm playing with, I found you can change the music. So I'm playing my favorite. There's like 3 variants of all the music. So there's 1.5 arrange and then the original. And I think the 1.5 music I like the best. So that's what this is. I need to remember to turn the game up just a little bit. It's a little bit quiet in my videos as of late. So right away you can see the projectiles are a lot faster. Something I noticed immediately is it looks like they leave a little bit of a streak, like a purple streak. Just goes to show how fast they're going. I also am switching to playing on full screen mode. I was previously playing on windowed because I have an ultra wide, so it's nice to be able to have other stuff on the left and right, but it really bothers me because it's not pixel perfect scaling. I think the game internally I think it's a 720p, so if I have it in the center of, if I have it scaled up to 1440p, that fits perfectly in the center of my monitor, but I could only get that working on full screen. I tried using some different tools to get it, and like working as a borderless app, but it's just a nightmare. Trying to get borderless windowed stuff working. So you'll notice here I grabbed Trace right away. There's some bosses where I decided it's better to just grab Trace rather than try to wait for the power-up, and this is one of them. A little bit sketchy fight here. This isn't, but I managed it. A testament to this mode, being more... Some of my complaints with the other modes are fixed just by playing on this mode. I guess when the difficulty's lower, some of the stages feel a little bit like, all right, let's just get through this. But I've died plenty of times on this stage. So trying to manage as best as I can with Trace. And really having to do a lot of tap dodging because of the speed and quantity of projectiles. It's not the sort of thing where you can necessarily dodge things on reaction. Just gotta be... It really helps knowing what enemies are coming up, what patterns you're about to have to dodge, and then tap dodging for all that stuff, all that other stuff. So yeah, it was fine to get Trace because I know that there's a formation power up here. This boss never really had issues with. I noticed going up a little bit helps dodging through those gaps just a little bit more. And then this swarm can really be a problem. When they send those swarms of popcorn from the left and the right, those are the tricky moments, I think. Several stages have those. Managed to get that dodge there. I was getting a little bit behind in this section, but I managed to catch up. And I'm playing on... It was a big learning curve. A lot of my practice has involved just getting used to this ship type again. It's the fastest one, so it's a lot different. Plus, the mechanics are a little different than 1.5 with how formation works. So I always try to grab formation here and just take the easy strategy, blowing off the legs. Lost plenty of lives here. I realized that one of the things that gets me here, that was good. Not how I wanted to dodge that, but I succeeded. One of the things that gets me is when I have to dodge, when I'm in the corners and I have to dodge moving up or down, I have a hard time with those angles, dodging at those angles. I'm good at the bottom of the screen area, or better, but it's something I've been mindful of in practicing, is dodging at the sides here. I just don't have that intuitive sense of where is safe, but managed to do enough damage here where it didn't become impossible. And you haven't seen it yet, but one of the things that made this run so successful is today, like when I had a break from practice and had some dinner, and I was thinking that my issue with bombing is that I haven't established a good criteria for when to bomb. My thinking is I'll just bomb when I know that I'm gonna die, but 90% of the time that's not the case. But what is a good sign is when I feel like I've lost track of what's going on. Like I feel it's hard to explain, but I have a sense when I'm like, oh, I'm not aware of it. I'm not on top of everything that's happening. That's when, or like, this isn't going how I expected. It's pretty easy. I have a pretty good sense of that at this point. Better than when I started. So my new thing when I was just doing these runs, it was honestly just to test out that new philosophy on bombing, which was I'm just gonna bomb when I feel like I've lost track of the pattern. When I get that sense that now it's gonna be a gamble if I don't bomb. Because at that point, it really is just a gamble. It's, if I don't bomb and I get through it, I'll be like, oh, that was good, but I'm not really sure that's good, worth practicing. Because once you've lost track, you're in a dangerous situation. It's probably better to practice just bombing rather than pretending that if you survived, that it was some skill on your part rather than just luck. Because I think that's how I feel about it. When I get that sense, it's I'm gonna be lucky to get through here. Finally came up with a lot more prepared now with this stage, dealing with those black bugs. I've been having a little bit of trouble with that circular pattern. It's a little bit hard to figure out what's the logic behind those shots for me, but I found something I think works pretty consistently, but it also depends on getting there in time when you're dealing with all the popcorn enemies. The worst part about this stage compared to all the other modes is how those blue enemies can shoot now. And also playing this is completely different. Okay, so here I had to stay in formation and dodge without holding A, even though I really wanted to slow down to precisely dodge these things. But if I did that, then the popcorn enemies wouldn't be getting destroyed and they would shoot at me, making this even more impossible. And this went really well. I'm glad about this. So I found a strategy that's consistent for destroying both arms and getting that one up. Unfortunately, I didn't leverage that one up as much as I would have preferred, but still helped me out in the end. There we go. And now this boss is where that bombing philosophy starts to come into play. I'm trying to be more strategic about it too, which is definitely bomb when I feel like I've lost control, lost track of everything, and also be really ready to bomb on some of the hard patterns. That's weird. I'm playing this weirdly. So yeah, that was a case where I decided to bomb because it wasn't going how I'm used to, and death was imminent. Same here. I did practice a strategy here, but I didn't execute it right, so I ended up getting pushed into a corner. And then here, we're good. Really disappointed, though, that it didn't record the achievement or replay or anything, but thankfully I was recording, so I don't know. It's not like anyone is watching my channel and going, oh, that wasn't a legit 1cc, because it was. I started from the very beginning, but the game just didn't recognize it because I didn't enter it correctly. And I didn't even know that restart took you back to the beginning of the stage. I thought restart took you back to the beginning of the game. It was just a quick way to replay the mode that you were on. So, because I've never used it. I don't think I've ever used restart outside of stage 1. And on this level, the trick is knowing where all the popcorn enemies come from before you get overwhelmed. Specifically those stick bugs. I'd say the stick bugs are the one you really have to be on top of, and the flying popcorn, as always. Those are always an issue on every stage. Yeah, there we go. Wasn't expecting it to get hit there. This I have a nice consistent strategy for now too. Alternating between taking out the big ones and then the small ones. And this one I usually manage to... Okay, that was really disappointing. Again, it was that weak spot for me, which is dodging more in the corner from the side. When I start to get at more of an angle, my dodging ability just drops. Usually I don't have to survive in this section that long, so I had to bomb again. But I'm learning that bombing is key for survival runs. Not so much for score runs. You need to be good and not have to rely on bombs, but that's not what I'm going for. And here the trick is knowing how to allocate your shooting between the popcorn enemies and the snakes so that you don't end up getting trapped by either of them. And I think I have a fairly good route worked out, but I don't think I managed to quite execute on my normal plan. Always bothers me sometimes, despite doing that tap dodging, some of the enemies will just fire a shot off in kind of a random direction, and that can really get... I've gotten hit quite a few times by that. Yeah, I didn't get over to the other head quickly enough, so I was like, okay, I have to bomb. Because if I didn't, I would have died crossing on top of the head. And it would have been tricky to break the rest of the spine sections. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. It's tough with this ship and just this mode. I found that if you hold A for precise movement, you're so slow that it's a liability because of how fast the shots travel in this mode, which makes it hard not just from a reaction time perspective, but also, yeah, you need your speed up. So it's tough. You really have to get used to dodging without slowing down. And I have a strategy on this boss too, which I was prepared to not execute it. That I was proud of. That was mostly how I planned this fight to go. Usually doesn't go on that long, but okay, yeah, it's this pattern. This is the one that gives me trouble, and I wasn't on plan for that. I normally try to I actually forgot what my strategy was here. That must be what happened. But I am now aware of the popcorn enemies that spawn, so I'm prepared to deal with those. And success, although I had to spend some bombs. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I practiced that boss a lot and had a good strategy worked out, but it's better that I'm committing to my plan of bombing in the right circumstances. And we're already on to stage 5. Definitely the hardest stage. There's just so many... I don't know what happened there. My nerves probably got to me, and I just forgot how to deal with the big moths. Pitcher plant's gotta be... Yeah, it's pretty tight, the timing there. It's harder to tap dodge and use all of the screen real estate when you're doing that, when you're constantly going at full speed, too. I'm wondering, is that normal, or is there some... Do I need to, like, consider changing my controller somehow? I don't know. Like, maybe my controller's making it too hard to tap for a really short duration. I can definitely do it if I try, but... So I guess the controller isn't a limitation. And you'll notice so much less slowdown in this whole run, which was a big adjustment. It was such a crutch. Here's the other spot where I grabbed Trace. This guy, you gotta be on your game right away. And I do have a strategy for getting through here, which I mostly did, but then I was like, nope. It was a little bit of a delayed reaction. And now I have to fight the hardest segment in the game with Trace, which I practiced. I didn't practice to the point where I was super solid, but I practiced it nonetheless. And being prepared to deal with the guy on the left that I just blew up, that's key here. Trace can be... I found once I got the hang of it, it can be kind of helpful in this section because you can use your main gun on the big enemies while the Trace takes care of the popcorn. And usually they're on alternating sides, so it can work out pretty well. I'm sure there's a lot more nuance to it that I could learn. I only did the bulk of my practice on this mode, like just today and a little bit in the past few days, but most of it has been today, so I haven't had that overnight time to let everything sink in. I'm sure I'll do better if I play this again in the future. Some things definitely went right for me this run, like that dodge there. That was not necessarily planned. I knew that happens, but I wasn't prepared for it. And I always plan to bomb here. It just gets really busy. And this is the troll section. Those green guys on the right, I've lost runs here because they shoot me. I need to figure out a safer strategy for them. It's just right before the boss, and they're just right there, spawning right in your face, and they can shoot right away as well. So I'm pretty good here. I know I can probably win now, although it might not be pretty. So I plan to bomb there, and I know I'm gonna run out of bombs, but I have plenty of lives. So that was planned. This section, I need to practice this better. I know there's an easier way to get through there without bombing, but I don't think I've gotten to that. That was what I was going to practice next, but I decided to do some runs. I could have survived there a little bit longer, but I usually bomb, so there we go. Done. Sadly not recorded in the game I didn't get the achievement, and I didn't get, there was no replay recorded, but now I know not to do that. I know that I cleared the mode, but there's still that nagging doubt that's like, yeah, but I really want that achievement. I want to earn it fair and square, so that's probably what I'll do next. Maybe I'll play again until I get a better run, and maybe get a better score too, who knows. 19730,883. Oh, is that? I actually didn't, I didn't see my total score. Anyway, there we are. So probably will be, I might play this again, and I don't know if I might upload another run of it just to show that I actually cleared it the way that you're supposed to. But next is supposed to be Novice Ultra and W and use Super Shot. Novice Ultra. I haven't played anything Ultra yet, so looking forward to that. But probably will do some more runs on this until I get the achievement. So this has been 1 credit clear of 1.0 original, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.